Hi everyone, it's Mr. Jensen. Today I have two photos for you. I have the beach during the nighttime and the beach during the afternoon, and how the wind works at the beach if we get to go to the beach this summer, I hope. So at nighttime, the beach is very cold, but the water is usually warmer. So why is this? That's our first step. So why is the beach so cold during the night, but the ocean water is actually warmer? So the beach is going to have a low specific heat. I'm just going to write SH. It has a low specific heat, which means it loses heat and gains heat very quickly. So the beach, the sand, has a low specific heat, and it gets really cold if the sun's not out. The water has a high specific heat, and it holds on to the warmth that it got during the day all through the night and even into the next day. So how's the wind going to work at nighttime at the beach? So if the water is warm, the air above the water is warm. And if the air is warm air, it has a low density. So if it has a low density, it wants to move upwards. So our air moves up. So if our air is moving up off of the ocean, it creates what we call a low pressure. The molecules of the air are moving up, so it's like having something lifted off of you. So it's a low pressure. Now on the beach, we have a low specific heat. We have cold air. So cold air likes to move down. And if something's pushing down on you, the air molecules are pushing down on you, we would call that a high pressure. So now from energy, we know that everything should move from high pressure to low pressure. And that's what wind is. It's actually an area or a zone of high pressured air and an area of low pressure air and them reacting. So high pressure air wants to go somewhere where there's low pressure. So our wind at night at the beach is going to go into the ocean. It goes from the beach and it goes into the ocean. We call this a land breeze. And that happens anytime the ocean warm air is warmer than the beach's cold air. And that's called a land breeze. Second step, I have the beach during the day. So I just need to add in my sun here and label it. So during the day, things are a little different because if you've ever been to the beach during the day and you step on the sand, you know that the sand is usually really hot. So over here, because there's a low specific heat, the sand gets really, really hot really, really fast. So because the sand gets hot, the air above the sand will also be warm. From the earlier slide, if the warm air is over the beach, that means there's going to be a low pressure system over the beach because warm air likes to go up. So we have low pressure here. All right, and because the ocean has a high specific heat, it takes a really long time to heat up. So although at nighttime it's still warmer, it's because it's holding on to the heat overnight. But during the day, it doesn't heat up that much compared to the beach, which has a low specific heat. All right, so if there's a high specific heat over the ocean during the day, it should stay cool. And if the air is cool here, cool air, it should be going down. Cool air goes down because it has a higher density. So just as before, we said there's a reaction between low pressure systems and high pressure systems. So this is high pressure. All air wants to go from high pressure to low pressure. And during the day, you're going to have that breeze. If you're sitting in your chair, it's going to be hitting you from the ocean to the beach. We call this a sea breeze. Now, you notice I drew the waves in two different fashions of the ocean. Here I drew it kind of like bumpy and flat almost. And then here I drew these like curls in the waves. When the air goes from the land to the ocean, it creates that curl that you see. like in surf videos or when the waves are what we would consider good. So land breezes create really good waves where people can get inside of like the curls of the waves, while as a sea breeze knocks the waves over from behind. It doesn't give you that cool curling effect that is like the most coveted thing to obtain in surfing. All right, so this is a quick surfing tip, and also how our beaches and our winds at the beach on Long Island are going to work. All right, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching, everyone.